Vice President, horrible things are happening in Afrin, and Turkey, which commits actually these heavy abuses of international law, is still a candidate country to the European Union. How can you explain this paradox?
This paradox is easily explained by the fact that Turkey is blackmailing basically the European Union since this illegal agreement on the migration was done. And on this basis, they are saying, if you will not continue to recognize me as candidate, if you will not give me the money you promised, I will open again the borders and millions of people will escape from the refugee camps we have. This is a kind of pressure that for sure many European countries don't want to have, especially in the Balkans, especially in Eastern Europe. And for this, Europe has a very weak voice, and we are not raising our criticism towards the action that the Erdogan government is doing internally and externally of the country. Internally, we have seen that he was discriminating and removing many officials from the justice, from the education system, from every single branch of the government in which Erdogan could esteem there is a kind of dissidence towards his regime. But at the same time, externally, we must also remark this terrible operation in Afrin that is bombing even the Kurdish civilians, is attacking also these valiant soldiers and troops that defeated Daesh on the ground. And it's not tolerable in any kind of case, this kind of approach from a candidate to the European Union and from a member of the NATO, our military alliance. This is ridiculous to see Erdogan welcomed in Rome by the Italian government with all the honors without saying a word on what is going on the ground in Afrin. The European governments are betraying the Kurdish people once more.
Do you think this betrayal will reflect in upcoming vote for European Parliament, because European citizens are frustrated with the situation when Erdogan continues to kill people, and we try to understand what is moderate bombing and why it's possible to ignore it from the side of the European institutions.
I feel ashamed for the European institution, I must be sincere. I do not think that this is a real relationship we can accept. We advocate in favor to have a good relationship with Turkey, but they should be on a basis of mutual respect and sharing values and principles. But we're not seeing from from the position of the government and the position of the president this will to respect these values and principles. We have seen a reform that was condemned universally of the constitution because it was pushing and putting all the powers in the hands of the president. At the same time, we see that there is no real commitment for the enlargement process, and it seems that it's still open just because just to allow the Turkey to get the European funds for the enlargement, not for a real purpose to become one day one member of the EU. So, in my opinion, would be much more fair to stop this process and immediately, consequently, to maybe create a kind of other partnership, an ad hoc partnership with them. But at the same time, I call to the High Representative to do all possible measures and pressures to stop the butchery we are seeing in Afrin. This is a shame for all of us to be so silent, to not condemn in the strongest terms this attitude, and this is a shame to this to this bloody tribute that the population already paid in the fight of Daesh. Those one who really defeated the jihadists and the terrorists on the ground now are suffering the attacks from Turkey just for geopolitical reasons. This is really not acceptable.